Hello, and welcome to the show. I'm Kurlis and this is the Sports Entertainers Podcast, episode 22. I'm here, as always, with Aaron Sanders, the Frostfather.
I'm surprised, but here we are. We survived 2023 and on to 24. Big things happening, Kurlis. Big things.
Big things coming off our award show, and obviously the Royal Rumble's on its way. I'm also here with Drake the Heel Demore. How's it going, Drake?
Like Sting taking off the mask to reveal his Sting paint. New Year, same me, same us, boys, we're back. And like Aaron said, big things to come this year.
That's a good reference. I mean, obviously Sting is retiring this year as well, so we will get to that when we get to that. But let's talk a little bit about the Rumble first. I mean, first and foremost, it's like a wrestling Christmas. I mean, WrestleMania is on it's almost here, and just when we got the Royal Rumble, everything feels good, man. Everything, it's just like, it's a goosebumps. I'm excited. I'm very excited for the Royal Rumble. So early predictions for you boys?
Early predictions or like concrete, bold predictions? How deep are we getting here? Because I mean, like you said, I'm getting excited for the Rumble. There's always little rumblings, who's gonna return, stuff like that. But yeah, what are you guys thinking?
All right, so let's just start with winners. I think winners is the best place to start. I think. I think the men's is it's pretty obvious. If you ask me, it's between two people, and for me, it's probably either Cody Rhodes or CM Punk. Correct? Like, I mean, think we're all on board with that.
My prediction: CM Punk wins.
You're just straight CM Punk.
Yeah,
I'm going off the board here, gentlemen. I'm going to say my man Gunther will take care of business, win the Royal Rumble, relinquish his IC title, and begin his quest for winning the WWE Championship.
That's a bold prediction. I mean, we'll get into general bold predictions in this very episode, but Gunther winning the Royal Rumble is that's pretty big. I don't know about that, but
that's not a bunch of bull. It's bold.
I think I mean, he's definitely like a runner up. Like, I think third or fourth is fair in my opinion. But hey man, I owe you lots of money if he does win.
That was a good thing. There's a nice spread between Gunther winning along with CM Punk and whatnot. So show me the monies.
So Drake, tell me why you think CM Punk. I was just sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I had a thought, and I do need to explain my CM Punk prediction there, but I just had a thought that popped to mind, and I need to get it out before I forget. Aaron, Kurlis, I propose the first cookie bet of 2024.
It's on.
Now, let me explain, okay? Aaron, I love your prediction. I kind of, not that I forgot about Gunther, but it's like, this guy's going to have a big Royal Rumble, right? Has he declared for the Royal Rumble yet? Does anyone know?
Most likely, considering how big of a year he had last year, I think he is.
Assuming he's in the Royal Rumble, then he's got to have a big Rumble, right? He's going to go for a long period of time, and he's going to get a lot of eliminations. How many eliminations do you think Gunther's going to get?
Ooh.
Now, keep in mind, the record is 13 by Braun Strowman in the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. So if you don't count that, it's Kane with 11.
Okay,
I was going to say 12 right before you said 13 anyway. I mean, think of it. This could be a year for him, because last year he broke the record of being the longest Intercontinental Champion of all time. So, I mean, if he's able to break another record, then if that doesn't captivate his status as one of the finest we've seen in the last few years in eliminating some contenders in the Royal Rumble, I don't know what. So I'll say 12, locking it 12.
12. Okay. WWE is all about breaking records and record smashing and blah blah blah. They always like to toot their own horn, right? And they always like to beat their own records, like they did with the Honky Tonk Man this year. I think it'll probably be 13. 13, just on the dot. That way they can just keep breaking the same record over and over and over again. And I mean, Gunther can solidify himself right before he probably wins the world championship down the road. there's more things under his belt that he can brag about. And 13 is probably my number. I'm gonna lock it.
Now I'm
13
just
for
going off
Kurlis.
the top of my head here. Going off the top of my head with all of my wrestling encyclopedia-ness. And I'm going to go ahead and say that 13, again, like I said, Braun Strowman did it in the greatest Royal Rumble of all time, but it has not been done in a regular Royal Rumble of 30 men. So that would be a new record. And that being said, I don't think he's going to get anywhere close. Well, he's going to get close enough with 8. He's going to have 8 eliminations. It's going to be a good run. They're going to pump him up, but I don't think he's going to break the record. But I'm going to say he does 8 eliminations.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair answer, I think. So,
all right, if this is a sandwich, I'd be right in the middle. Drake, you have 8, Kurlis, you have 13, and I'm right smack dab in the middle with 12.
We got a good variety here. We got par,
You
we
guys are
got
close.
higher, and we got lower. So
yeah, you guys are exactly yeah. So if he has 2, I win by default, or 0, I suppose. But I guess if he has 0, then it's a wash. But we don't even know if he's in the Royal Rumble. But assuming he's in the Royal Rumble, that I think is a great cookie bet. Great way to start the year. And I guess this is time for me to spill my guts about CM Punk, unless you guys have anything else to say about this cookie bet. But I think that we should just let the best man win.
Get the floor. Take the floor, Drake.
It's just too obvious. It's too obvious he's going to win. They brought him in for one reason only, and he's going to win the Royal Rumble, and he's going to main event WrestleMania. It's been 10 years since he's had an official on-screen WWE match, and that last match was the Royal Rumble in the same building, obviously in the same town. And that's his redemption story. CM Punk has changed, and he's back in the WWE to redeem himself for the fans and for himself, obviously. And that's it. But I'm going to go a step further and say that I don't think he'll win at WrestleMania.
Okay. I mean, on terms of bookending, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I'm with you on that. But where does that leave our buddy Cody Rhodes, the poor guy?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Thank you.
You don't think they're gonna how are they gonna? Because Roman and Cody are on different brands. How do you get to that point, right?
He's gonna lose the Royal Rumble. He's gonna cry about it, and he's gonna sign on SmackDown, and he's gonna insert himself into the triple threat somehow. It's so funny, and it's so sad. It's so sad because it's just like, okay, CM Punk's back. He gets bumped back a little bit. If The Rock is going to wrestle, he gets bumped back even further. And there's just nothing that will be done about it.
Why not he turn heel? Like, seriously. All these chances that he thinks he has, and then everyone else keeps on getting right in front of him. It's just like that line on the roller coaster. You think you're there, but you're not, because there's either some sort of loophole. It's either a family right in front of you, or you're just too short to ride the ride. Like, come on, man. Do something dastardly.
I'll say this. I don't think they would do that simply because they finally have another John Cena on their hands. And I think he's just too... I think they finally found their white meat babyface with Cody Rhodes, and I don't think they would turn him. Just
he's
in
on
my
the cover
opinion.
of 2K24 now, so
Yeah, he is. He is. No, it wouldn't be smart. I mean, it would be cool, but it wouldn't be smart.
I agree with both of you.
I'm like this. Hell, if I work so hard, try to get the opportunity I want, and either people aren't seeing that or they're just giving it to someone else that doesn't deserve it, wouldn't you be pissed off at that opportunity too?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a workplace
Absolutely.
environment. It's like, oh man, like this person is being promoted and I'm not. That's not fair. So any disgruntled employees out there, turn heel on your boss.
Not that we're suggesting it, but yeah, where are we with this? I gone off my rocker apparently.
Just go full stone cold on your boss.
Yes. Oh yeah.
What's okay? Where were we going with this? Actually,
I think we declared what's going to happen at the men's Royal Rumble, and now we could transition to what's going to happen in the women's Royal Rumble.
You've convinced me, Drake. You have convinced me. I'm kind of back and forth with those two guys.
Well,
but is it in Cleveland? If it's in Cleveland, then I feel like they'll try to bookend it. They're like that.
Oh boy.
No, it's in Tampa Bay, isn't it?
The Royal Rumble? I'm pretty sure Punk walked out at in Cleveland, but also it
Okay,
is
then I was wrong about it being in the same place.
but still same event. So
Ooh.
you had the right mindset. You still had the
Same
right
event.
mindset.
I thought they said that on WWE programming, so it's got to be true. So
Yeah, and he also hasn't had a match, so it's kind of
yeah. But listen. Here's the other thing too. Like they did it last year with Cody Rhodes. They brought him back, made him number 30. He won. This was after his injury, but it was so obvious, but it didn't matter,
Mhm.
And they still did it. They could swerve us. They could swerve us, and it could be Drew McIntyre. It could be uh, it could be The Rock. I don't know. It could be somebody else.
Oh.
It could be Cody Rhodes again. It could be Cody Rhodes again. Honestly, that wins the Royal Rumble. But right now, just everything obviously points at CM Punk. And is it too obvious? Yeah. Does that mean he's gonna win? Maybe, maybe not.
I mean, can we briefly talk about the Cody Rhodes coming in at number 30? Not like that was like I think coming in at number 30 and winning the whole thing is the most heelish thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So lame. Like
It is really lame. Like
When all the trash is basically taken out and you're just there to claim the credit.
yeah, I mean, at least give him like a middle spot so he can
at
have
least,
that
yeah. It was
have
just
that obstacle.
I don't even want to say it was handed to him, but like they really made the odds like in his favor after, the whole comeback story and finishing the
Mhm.
story and then he freaking lost. So that.
Pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
I think if Cody comes in number 1, I think he wins it all actually. That's my that's I think it
That
depends
would be
on
wicked.
where he is on the what would he say, sorry?
That would be cool. That would be wicked if he won it at number 30 last year and then number 1 this year.
Yeah. It's been a while since they've done back-to-back winners, right? Since I think was Stone Cold the last one they did? Or am I tripping?
Probably.
I
Oh
think
no, it had to be after Stone Cold. I could imagine.
hold
John
on, let
Cena
me
win it twice in a row?
he's won it twice, but not twice in a row. Hold on, let me just
No, I don't.
fact check real quick.
We need a James, man. Look that up, James. I just looked at all the Royal. I'm pretty sure I can name them all from like a certain time on, but I need a little start. I need a little running start.
So no superstar has won back-to-back Royal Rumbles since Stone Cold Steve Austin in the late
Yeah,
90s. But
yeah,
but
definitely not.
for Rhodes to finish his story, he needs to find a way to get back into the main event. This is the article I'm reading right now. So everyone's kind of back and forth with these two guys, I think, with the men's Royal Rumble. But I guess it's a okay transition to go into the women's Royal Rumble. Aaron, go ahead.
All right, it's go time for me. And folks, I could boldly say that the long wait is going to be over for Jade Cargill. She's going to make her WWE debut in the Royal Rumble. However, she ain't going to win the whole enchilada. I think Dakota Kai is going to come back and take care of business.
Dakota Kai.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Is she ready to go? Is she ready to roll? I mean, I would love that, but that would be interesting. That'd be interesting. I mean, man.
I
I
mean,
think
think about it. The journey could begin with her winning the Royal Rumble. Now, from what I've seen from Damage Control in the last number of months, they have like two groups within one. It's like it's either Bailey versus them, and then they act all cool and whatnot, but it's like somebody's got to take over Damage Control for real. So now you got one side of Damage Control ran by Dakota Kai. This could start like her being the solution to either bring Damage Control all together again or dissolve it. There has to be some sort of direction that Damage Control's got to go. And it could begin at the Royal Rumble.
I think like I'm in the same ballpark as you, but I don't know if Dakota Kai is healthy and ready to go. I mean, I'd love to see it, and it would be a cool twist. All of a sudden, she's in the Royal Rumble, wins it all. I'd pop big for that. But I think I'm gonna go with Bailey winning in the Rumble, and then her turning face on Damage Control. I mean, they all attack her and think she's gonna try to take it away from Io Sky, and then Bailey turns face, and then we got Io versus Bailey. That's the direction I think. I mean, that's where my head's at, with Dakota Kai as a mouthpiece.
Either way, we're gonna see corruption and damage control.
That's what I think. I think the storyline with the women's match is damage control. That's where I'm at with that.
Beauty.
Yeah, I think that's a clean way of talking about the women's Royal Rumble. And yeah, Drake, do you got anything to say about that? Do you have any counteracting claims here?
Not really, man. It's a tough one. It's a tough prediction, and I think that you're on the right track for sure. Like Bailey could be a winner to set up that title match, right? I'm trying to think of who would be a good setup for both champions right now, and I think that that's the only thing that really comes to mind. There's no one, that can really return and take this thing. We've kind of seen the same matches before, except for the one that you just mentioned. So, and one that would be very good to see. Aside from that, though, I will go ahead and predict. I think Liv Morgan might come back if she's cleared to return from whatever happened with her. And there's someone else, but I can't remember.
What about Alexa Bliss? Keep her in the back burner. Maybe not for the Royal Rumble, but for the year.
Yeah,
actually,
I think she'll be back soon.
What about you know what I was thinking? I as we were talking about this, what about Sasha Banks or Naomi?
Yeah, she's rumored.
Yeah.
Oh, Naomi. Yeah, I think Naomi will be there. Sasha Banks, maybe.
If Sasha Banks is there, I think she'll win. They're not gonna waste Sasha's big return if she doesn't win. So that's where I'm at. She's too big of a star.
Yeah.
I think Sasha's on a different level now than she was. Yeah.
And for the record, Trinity/Naomi just left TNA. Am I right in that?
I think her contract's up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they'll reunite and have some, or maybe there'll be some purpose in the women's tag team championship again.
That'd be interesting. I mean, they're trying. They're trying a little bit.
It's just weak right now, man.
They're trying to bring it back. And under Triple H's management, I think the women's tag belts are a little bit better than they were. It's off Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, so that's a little bit of a start.
No, it's not.
I don't know. I thought it was good, Green and Niven.
Yeah,
they were entertaining. Entertaining. But I mean, even that reign was better than the last few. So I'm gonna give Chelsea Green and Piper Niven a little bit of credit. I mean, this year's been a little bit kinder to the women's tag belts. A little bit. They just need more TV time for those belts. But and then again, there's just way too many belts, which we can go on and on about in another episode. But there's just way too many belts in both companies. And now apparently the Continental Championship is also a belt. Like I thought it was just that coming. I thought it was just a tournament. What are we doing? What are we doing? Why is there like 18 belts on AEW programming?
Yeah, but there are some hardcore wrestling fans that are just marking out right now because the more belts they get, the more they can show how superior they are when it comes to the wrestling fan base.
Just spend a bunch of money on belts. I don't know. I guess it helps them with merch and whatnot, but I don't know. It's just too much. We'll get to that event another time. But speaking of AEW, you guys want to transition this into our new AEW World Champion, Samoa Joe?
Bring on the Cup of Joe.
Man, Samoa Joe's awesome. That's all I gotta say about the guy. He's awesome. He's so cool. And man, he deserves his flowers. And it's so nice to finally see him win a world title after all these years. I think the last time he won a world heavyweight title was TNA, right? I mean, unless you count NXT. I don't know if you count
NXT too, yeah.
Do you count NXT as a world title?
It was world title? Yes, because it was defended in Japan. So
NXT?
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe elsewhere, but yeah.
I guess we can count it. But it's been a while. It's still been a while because I think his NXT run was in like 2015, and he just deserves it. I mean, after all the CM Punk drama that was happening at All In and him apparently splitting up the fight, I mean, it's basically Tony Khan giving Samoa Joe like thank you for being such a such a veteran figure in their company. So he deserves it. He deserves it. And he's been this. I don't know what else to say, man. He's just awesome. He's just awesome. Just like
well, here's the thing, Kurlis. After all those times he was screwed around by in WWE, and mind you, this guy sacrificed his whole body to be in the piss and rain at WrestleMania, only for him to be released like what, less than 48 hours later?
This company had the gall to fire him twice. They fired him twice.
Jeez.
How do you have a talent like Samoa Joe and fire him twice? He's Samoa Joe, man. Come on.
Oh man.
He's had so many good moments. He's a great promo, obviously. Like I feel like it's redundant to say he's great, but there's a couple of those memories that always stick out in my mind. I mean, Samoa Joe doing the one promo that always goes viral where he goes up to that group of wrestlers in the ring, and it's like he gets to Jeff Hardy and he's like make like an AA meeting and quiet down or something along the lines of that.
I know I need to size up with you, and when I defang the Viper, trust me, ain't gonna come from nowhere. Jeff, I already put you out. I don't even know why you're out here right now. Keep on talking. Hey, do me a favor. Why don't you act like this is an AA meeting and you shut your mouth while I'm sharing with the group?
Everyone was, hey, Wendy.
Oh, Wendy!
I mean, that's weird for his character, but that's the one thing that comes to the mind every time. It's Wendy! I'm coming to get you!
You can't forget, dude. You can't forget that he's the stem of the greatest promo of all time, Steiner Math.
Oh, yeah,
If it wasn't
buddy.
for him, it never would have happened. If it wasn't for him,
you have to add Samoa Joe. You forgot to divide by Samoa Joe, Drake.
I always forget to carry the Joe.
Carry the angle. Multiply it by Joe.
So Samoa Joe, you take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning at Sacrifice.
Talk about a bloody catalyst.
Samoa Joe, like his time from TNA to NXT, Ring of Honor, and now AEW dominating everywhere. I mean, I remember him from TNA for the most part, and then even when he came to NXT, it was like the biggest deal. He had a sick run in NXT, actually. He was really good in NXT. He was a good commentator. He was good at everything.
He's literally the embodiment of that CM Punk promo, or he was like the pipe bomb promo where he was like, I'm good at everything. Like even on commentary, no one can touch me. Now he's legitimately good at everything in the biz.
He even did the commentary for WrestleMania, whatever, when it was raining outside.
Yep, 37.
Gotta respect the dude.
Yeah.
Put respect on Joe's name.
He did a lot of iconic stuff. He kind of created that walk away, whatever you want to call it, where he just walks away when someone does a move to him. That stuff like goes viral.
Yeah.
Laugh at it.
Did you see the one where the one guy had his hands up and he's like shrugging?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. That was posted everywhere. Like, people were like, this guy midair was like, WTF.
He's he's an intimidating dude, eh? Like if I saw him on the street, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna keep my distance from that scary Samoan dude. You know?
Lock your doors.
Like imagine you're going on a date with a sweet girl, you knock on her door with flowers, and then Samoa Joe comes out and he's just all like, yo, you dating my daughter today?
The nerd.
Yeah, no, he's a scary dude. He's a very intimidating dude. He plays the role well. And then I like how his character he's always been a heel for the most part, but people love him so much, so they can't help but do the Joe chants.
And his opponent from Huntington Beach, California, weighing in at 282 pounds, Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Maybe
he's always been cool. But one thing I respect about him too, though, is that he's probably the only Samoan guy that's not related to The Rock. So good on him for making
Fair
it
enough. Yeah.
without any nepotism. So good for him.
Now we got 2 Samoan Joes on top of the industry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Roman Reigns is
Pick your
also
Joe.
Joe. Pick your Joe. I pick Samoa Joe. I'd pick Samoa Joe. Man, and I didn't expect him to win that title match. I did not. I was not like it was kind of.
That was a bold prediction. I had a feeling. I mean, it's just like everyone else. I mean, with MJF being hurt and stuff, but no, it's good to see. Good to see.
You mentioned bold predictions. Did we mention bold predictions for the rest of the year rather than Royal Rumble? Did we talk about that at all?
Nope, not
Well,
yet. We
that's
might
a
as
good way
well.
to wrap this thing up. Yeah.
It's the universal law. If you're gonna bring up something, you better bring it to the table now.
I'm bringing it
It's
to
a
the
new year
table.
too, so it's a good time to do it. Bring it to the head of the table, boys.
All right, let's go.
Oh.
Bold predictions. Who wants to start this one? I could start.
Yeah, Aaron has to go last, as we know.
He claimed that. Okay.
Yeah.
My bold prediction of the year for the year of 2024. First of all, MJF does not go to WWE. That's not a bold prediction. I think it's very stupid that anyone believes he's actually being serious about that in the year 2024. He's, the bidding war of 2024. There's no way. There's no way. Maybe down the road. Yeah, 100%. There's no way. So that's out of the picture. That's not a bold prediction. That's a spoiler. But my bold prediction for this year is that by the end of the year, Swerve Strickland will be AEW World Heavyweight Champion. I just think if they got lightning in the bottle right now, he's so over right now. He's on fire right now. And if they don't pull the trigger, it's just a wasted opportunity. And I don't know if he's going to be next. I think it'll be a little while. But I do think Swerve will be world champion. Maybe Adam Page is the next world champion. Then Swerve can win it off Adam Page. That's how I see it going.
I agree with that. I can see that happening. Swerve's like my AEW guy right now. And yeah, if you're gonna capitalize on it, maybe take a chance. Do something that WWE hasn't done. Just if a guy's hot, just take a chance on him. See what happens. Who knows? But no, I can see that going. I don't know. I can almost see him beating Joe, but at the same time, I think that the transitional champion being Hangman Adam Page makes more sense. What was the other thing you said? Oh yeah, MJF had been. I think he's been signed to AEW for some time, just that people didn't know it. I'm sure he re-signed in the last couple months or something, but yeah, I don't think that was ever really legit, and if it was, it didn't go his way. But yeah, man, my prediction for 2024 this year is that on December 31st, 2024, Roman Reigns will still be your WWE World Heavyweight Universal Undisputed Champion of the world, or whatever it is. He's going to be holding this thing. He's not going to lose. If he does, it's going to be in a tag team match or something, and it won't be for our non-title match. He's going to wrestle a couple matches this year, and that's going to be it. Roman is going to leave this year still champion. That's my bold prediction.
You know what I hate about your prediction is that it's very, very possible because he's coming close to Hogan's reign, and they might just push it past Hogan's reign to erase. Like I said before,
bad taste in your mouth.
Yes,
like
that. I mean, the racism, obviously. Yeah. The racism, obviously, erase the Hogan bad aura, but also, like I mentioned with the Royal Rumble, they really like to break their own records, and it's definitely possible, which makes me really sad. I don't know, man. Cody's better off just going back to AEW and finishing his story there instead at this point. But yeah, oh man, that's depressing. You might be right. Aaron? Come on, man.
By December 31st of this very year, as we speak virtually, you guys will either give me my flowers or say, holy crap, when I say that by the end of this year, Paul Heyman will step down as the wise man of the bloodline.
Ooh.
Well, think
You
of
know,
it. Of all the times we've seen him in the promos and try to hold back Solo or Jimmy or anybody, it's like it has to come to a point where he's fed up of people not listening to him and just say, you know what, screw it. You know what? Why should I be a part of something so dysfunctional? It's like, I've done my time. I'm going to step down. Will somebody step in to be the new wise man? We shall see. But I'm just going to lay it right down on the table as we talk about the head of the table. The wise man will leave. He will go.
do you think he
Well,
teams up with an old Paul
No,
Heyman guy,
nope,
an old
no,
friend?
nope.
he
I
doesn't.
think his time, as a manager is like I think it's time. It's over.
I mean, it's there. The
I
possibility's
would think
there.
that he could return his services to the Beast incarnate,
The Beast
or the
incarnate,
best in
or
the
maybe CM
world.
Punk. Who knows?
Yeah,
But I just see him stepping out of the bloodline. What else he's going to do afterwards? Well, thank goodness we all like wrestling and we like to think of all these interesting storylines. So that's up for the imagination to know. But I'm locking it down right now. Heyman, no longer the wise man.
I mean, you can even take that one step further. Will there be a bloodline if Drake's prediction doesn't come true?
Well, that's up
yeah,
to y'all's
it-
imagination.
yeah. Because if my prediction doesn't come true, then Aaron's likely does. So,
Mm,
and
interesting.
vice versa, right?
Interesting.
Mhm.
There's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of stuff here. Please end the bloodline. Please end this
Next year.
long story. Next year. After Hogan's record is broken. Oh my goodness.
Well, here's the thing. If you listen, if the bloodline's still going on, then you know what? That's one soap opera you'll see on TV. It's like mainly I prefer Days of Our Lives because I'm sure Bloodline will last longer than that freaking series.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Like sands through the hourglass. So are the days of the bloodline.
Like 50 years, man.
Well, yeah, truly. Who knows?
Well,
Oh, I do want to plug before we go. I'm excited for this year because Dark Side of the Ring is coming back, season 5.
Man, there's a lot going on with that season. I looked over some of the topics. It was very, very interesting.
they said the topic.
Yep,
Yeah,
Kurt
yeah,
Angle's gonna be one of them.
yeah.
What?
His issues with the drugs and whatnot.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, buddy.
Super interesting stuff. Give me a second. I'm gonna search up the season 5. Hold on. I didn't get to watch season 4 actually. I didn't get to it. How good of a season was that? What do you
It
guys
was
say?
meh.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
I don't know. I think they're just
It
running out
won't
of big topics. They did Benoit, they did Guerrero, they did they did the Von Erichs.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think they're running out of the bigger topics. I'd love to do
there's still
like
cool stuff they can talk about.
absolutely. I mean, there's always bad stuff happening in wrestling, but
I
I
want to
don't know.
see the full episode of the CM Punk episode. All right.
They're under non-disclosure. Okay, they
Okay,
can't
here
talk
we go.
about it. They can't
I
talk
know.
about it. No one's allowed to talk about it except for Jericho. Apparently, I am not gonna get into that because it's messy. But yeah,
I do have the episodes for the upcoming season of Dark Side of the Ring. Are you ready?
okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake, along with Harley Race, Buff Bagwell. That's going to be a good story because his his coming to what story is awesome too, especially with the work he's done with DDP. Kurt Angle, of course, Gentleman Chris Adams, Sandman, and the one that set the whole wrestling world on fire in the golden age. There's this one day, Black Saturday, when Vince McMahon,
Oh, cool.
WWF, fought Georgia Championship Wrestling. So that way WWF could be on TBS, the Superstation back then.
It seems
Still
okay.
not good. Yeah, there's a couple good. Like honestly, the Buff Bagwell one would probably be the best. The Black Saturday one will be very informational, right? So that'll be good to kind of take it in from their take. But I have this ongoing list, and I think I've read it on here before. But I think like right now, my biggest guy that I want on there is Test.
Oh
Test,
my
Andrew
goodness.
Martin, Canadian
Yep.
guy, Canadian show, but a
King of the Big
guy
Boot.
best big boot. I mean, he came in green as grass, but he did some pretty cool stuff, right? But there's guys that probably deserve episodes on there, unfortunately, like Brian Christopher, Grandmaster Sexy,
Mm-hmm.
Sean O'Hare, So if you're not familiar with them, look them up.
Do you think they will ever do, and I'm blanking out here, do you think they'll ever do an episode where they talk about the dying days of WCW?
I
I
hope they
think
do. They should. I mean, they kind of have, but
Like, get Vince Russo back on screen or whatnot. I just want to hear Jim
they need
Cornette
to
just
do
bite him
one.
to him just one more time. Let's just end it. And the
They need,
proposed revival of WCW, the one that didn't
yeah,
happen either.
they need to do exactly that, and it's like the new breed pay-per-view or whatever. There's like one of these pay-per-views where they tried to like revamp or like reboot WCW, kind of what you're saying, and it was just
Yeah.
terrible. It's actually hilarious. Like we should do a watch along with it. It's like actually like comedically bad. Like it's so funny. It's like there's like 14 matches and there's like 6 guys in every single match.
I'll
They
tell
just
you,
keep recycling.
dude, I'll tell you one thing about the dying days of WCW. They did, honestly, they did Psycho Sid dirty because from what I heard, he was told to do more airborne moves and he ended up snapping his damn leg. And I think the final WCW pay-per-view. And I know he's one of the most underrated big guys in wrestling as far as we know, but they did him dirty.
Yeah.
That's almost say.
Yeah, because I think like Sid was like sick in WWF, but you look at his WCW stuff and it's just like all memes.
Comedic. 22. Why? Why
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
this to me? Jeez, man.
I'm
Dude,
I'm
I
reading
was
a
at
list.
the Spitfire game for that wrestling night, and Jeff was telling Alex Shelley about that promo with Sid, and he
Mhm.
was like, "I've never seen that before." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, I thought these guys seen everything.
Oh, you'd be surprised, man. That would be a good side topic too. Like if you were running Dark Side of the Ring, what episodes would you like to see or do?
I'm reading one right
Yeah,
now, and it's like Randy Orton shitting in people's bags.
Oh, jeez. That's
Uh,
disgusting.
I mean, there's a lot of modern episodes. I mean, that you can probably do. A lot of, but it's a lot of like sad stuff. I mean, there's a lot of like cases of like alleged sexual assault and stuff like that that could be done into stories. The Velveteen Dream, I guess. But
Oh yeah,
stuff
right.
like that. I mean, I'm sorry.
He's trying to make a comeback.
He is trying to make a
Yeah.
comeback, and I don't know. I don't know if any of those allegations were true or false. I'm not the judge of that, but also like it's definitely a topic. You know what I mean? Did you see that? Did you see that meme with Chris Jericho narrating his own Dark Side of the Ring after all the allegations that came out?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like yikes. Oof.
I honestly thought Sunny was gonna get her own episode, but I guess she sort of did with the whole Chris Candido thing. And I thought when Dark Side of the Ring was first formed, they were gonna make an episode about her because she's so freaking polarizing. But you know what? She's already paying the price and whatnot. So I
What
was
is
sort
her
of half right.
what is her sentence right now? She's
Like
she has
20 years or something.
yeah, some crazy sentence like she's never getting out, which I mean,
Should have been
the
20
life,
years.
honestly.
yeah, it's deserved. She deserves it.
Yeah, all that crap she's done. And, there's a lot of people that try to help her out, but we won't go any further into that topic. All I'm just saying is, you know what? When Dark Side of the Ring started a few years ago, I thought she would have been a good candidate for an episode.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's a shoe-in, man.
She went down on the deep. You know what? I'm surprised. One more thing, and then I'll just stop on the topic. They should have talked about. You remember how, like in the golden era, there was a rise of women's wrestlers in the WWF, and then they just decided one year just to abolish it for a handful of years. Then they brought it back in the mid-90s, and then they shut it down. It's like they had some interesting wrestlers around there too, like Sherry and Luna Vachon.
Yeah. They kind of talk about that in the Fabulous Moolah one, right? Kind of.
Even though that wasn't the main context, but I'm just saying it's just interesting that there was a time where WWF didn't even have any women's matches. They were either set aside to be managers or valets or just nothing at all.
Yeah.
That could be an interesting episode too. Like the Diva era, like the bra and panty matches and all that stuff.
Oh God.
You could do a Dark Side of the Ring about like how bad it was to be a female wrestler at any period of time until like quite recently in WWE. So, it's gotten a lot better since those days. I mean, you could do an episode about that. It could work.
Do a whole episode on Kevin Dunn, that SOB.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of like negativity on terms of Dark Side of the Ring. That's why I watch it, but
you just hope there's a happy ending out of one of these episodes, right?
Yeah, and I mean, unless you guys have other things to say about Dark Side of the Ring, let's end this on a happy note. There's a couple positive things I want to bring up before we wrap up.
Well, listen, we survived. Listen, our 22nd episode, and we're in a brand new year. The sky's the limit in terms of wrestling. There's no doubt about that.
So, on the topic of sky's the limit, before I just want to drop this here. TNA, man, TNA is really good. The return of TNA. And I feel like Drake would have a lot of stuff to say about this one. So
take it. You would think, but no, I did watch. I actually watched the show. I watched Impact, the first Impact of the year, for the first TNA Impact. Yeah, I didn't watch the pay-per-view Hard to Kill or. I actually predicted that correctly. I actually predicted that Nick Nemeth was coming to Impact or TNA. And I thought that I was then wrong because he was in New Japan. But then he showed up at Hard to Kill, so that was interesting. I thought that they were going to sign Okada, but that's neither here nor there. I guess there's a bunch of speculation going on with him, right? But it's cool that they get him to pop up, right? Mm-hmm. And they're definitely expanding. We're looking forward to them coming back to Windsor.
Mm-hmm.
Last I checked in, they did a bunch of tapings in Las Vegas after the pay-per-view. Simon Gotch debuted.
Josh Alexander and Will Ospreay had a banger, by the way.
Yep.
So
Will Ospreay still has unfinished business in TNA. The young grizzled vets debuted. A lot of new debuts. It's exciting times. And Moose is the new world champion. Well deserved for him. So. Yeah, exciting time for TNA, that's for sure.
It's they finally feel like that third brand again, and it's exciting. It's a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz around TNA, a lot more than just our circle of wrestling nerds.
That's true. It's very true.
It's exciting to see Dolph just living his best life. I mean, Nick Nemeth. It's going to take me a while to get used to that, but it's exciting to see him. Nemeth?
It's Nemeth, but I always thought it was Nemeth.
It's gonna get real confusing. You don't know the name until you hear commentary say it, or
exactly. Yeah.
Like Adam Copeland was so weird at first. Now it's just kind of one of those things now.
How are we going to try to cope with the fact that he's no longer living on the edge?
Oh.
All right. I think now is a good time to wrap. Aaron?
Yes.
All right. Well, it's my first time wrapping this up in a long time, but I will say this. We want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, listening, watching us, whether we have some great interviews and whatnot, and I'm sure that we're going to have more interviews and more episodes on the way as Windsor's exclusive wrestling podcast. Holler at your boy, the Frost Father, along with Curly Fries and the Heel. We'll be back with you with a brand new episode very soon. Couple of things I want to mention before we get up out of here. Be sure to follow us and like us. but I'm assuming you like us now because you're tuning in to us. Royal Rumble season, the road to WrestleMania is coming up, so I know you have a lot to say, and so we hope you tune in for that. But in the meantime, for the boys, this be your boy, the Frostfather, signing off. And remember, to each and every one of you out there, Christmas season may be over, so there's no excuse for you not to have any bloody soap.